Call the meeting to order. Roll call.
Mr. Vieira?
Yes.
Dr. Vogt? Here. Mrs. Wittes? Here. Dr. Selly?
Here.
Mr. Dangler?
Here.
And I hereby certify that this meeting has been published in the newspapers in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act and posted as required by law.
Thank you. Item number 1 on the agenda, Mike Martin.
Thank you. Once again, the state has charged us with filling out this best practice inventory that they've done the past 5 or 6 years I can remember. And again, they've changed the majority of the questions that they ask. Every year, they change the questions. So it's almost like you're striving to hit a moving target. But we did fairly well. 52 of the questions are actually rated, and the rest of the 32 questions are just survey questions for informational purposes to the state. And you could tell by the surveys that you were distributed, as which are non-scoring survey questions, it's actually kind of listed on the question, and whether it's a value point question or not. So out of the 52 potential questions that we got scored on, we got 42 correct, or 42 yes answers, which anything above 30 yes answers is a no penalty of state aid. So we're well above the positive range. You all have the questionnaires. I don't know that it's necessary to go through all the questions individually. If you have any questions about any of the answers or the questions themselves, I'd be happy to answer them now or later. Doesn't have to be submitted until October 30th, so I have until then. I don't plan on submitting it until October 30th that day, so that's my spiel.
Anybody have any questions?
I have some, I don't know how much you wanna, spend time on it now, or, yeah, yes?
Go ahead, I guess.
You guys here first.
Like, the one where they asked you about the handbook,
Yes.
there are 2 questions here.
Yes.
And one you said perspective,
Correct.
and the other one, you didn't say anything.
Oh,
I would have thought that you would have said it's in the making, because it is.
I mean, it still is a no answer, because the question is, do we have a handbook adopted? So the real question is, no, we don't have it. And the second question that I answered prospectively is, have you updated the handbook? And I answered, when we adopt one, we will be sure to update it.
Right.
We were kind of gonna end up with the same score either way. The explanation of, we're working on it, they don't care.
Doesn't make any difference.
Not really. You're still gonna get a no answer. You're still not gonna get a positive
Okay.
response.
Is it almost complete, George?
Yes, in fact, our labor attorney is here tonight. I think they're doing some sick leave amendments, his firm, and then we'll be good to go.
Oh, perfect.
Yep.
Yeah, so we finished it, and then we had to go through the process of running it by all of the unions, because you just have to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, most of the stuff is not negotiable, but you need to go through it just to the extent that you have to.
We haven't shared it with the unions yet. We had all our department heads give feedback, so we're waiting for this finalized version, then we're gonna share it with the unions, get their feedback, and then move ahead and adopt.
Oh,
But
okay.
we're just waiting for the one last update.
Can we get a copy of the draft?
Sure.
Thank you.
Mike, I just had some real quick ones, and just for a little bit further information on the answers. So 25 was something about a reserve study for infrastructure, and this is just, it might even not necessarily be for you, but at one point we talked about a reserve study just for buildings. That went back to the conversation about City Hall. I'm just saying that to at some point revisit that conversation. You know, we talked about
This was more specifically for underground.
Yeah, right, I know.
Yeah, this isn't that.
I know that.
This is just.
Right, I'm just using that as a jumping off point for us to remember that we had said we were gonna look into that at some point. So that's why I'm saying, not
Okay.
necessarily for an answer for you, right now. There was, so number 42, has your municipality explored new and expanded, shared service opportunities? What ones have we?
Recently, we explored IT services with Seabright briefly.
Right.
And,
We explored, within the past couple of years, we explored health department services with the county.
yeah, and I think you said for that one, it was because of staffing issues.
They were unable to take us on at the time,
So
county staff.
so just to kind of cut to the chase, there was like, anything that we investigated didn't really result in a new shared service right now. Is that, yeah, okay, okay.
But you're also looking at the schools too.
Oh, yes, most recently, we've been talking on the schools.
Oh, good,
Yes.
okay. Number 52 is there any plan for charging stations? We don't have one now, but is that anywhere in the works? Is there anywhere?
I don't really
Discussion?
see the validity in paying for someone else's fuel for their car.
Okay.
I mean,
Or, yeah,
how would you, I can't see
Well,
justifying recharging somebody's car.
No, I think that they're talking about charging stations. where
electric,
you-
yeah,
Yeah, electric charging station where you
Right.
put your credit card in and you pay for it.
yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah.
thought it was just funded by the
So
system.
Yeah.
now Mike's interested because it's a revenue stream.
See, there you go. Which may, does that tie,
Changes the whole picture.
does that tie into the master plan at all?
Yes,
Yeah,
it is,
okay.
and it's not unusual to recommend those kind
Yeah.
of things in the master plan.
Okay, so,
I'm sorry.
so again, Mike, you're off the hook for an answer, but something for when we move on to.
It is.
I can add, so we've been looking at a couple of companies that actually wanna come in, provide electric service.
Uh-huh,
I don't wanna mention the name, and then, and so one of those things is to maybe potentially look into the utilization of using municipal electric cars on a lease basis instead of those that we buy.
okay,
And if we ever chose to do that, then of course we would have to have a couple of charging stations. And I don't know if there's other uses for that, like outside of a municipal use, if we leased or used those cars.
yeah,
And then I think, Lou, a lot of companies looking into, with development, right? Agreements sometimes
Right.
are now including charging stations.
yeah, so that was just a general kind of interest.
So the answer, we haven't yet, but we
Mhm.
have had a few proposals and people have come to talk to us about it.
Okay,
Our planners here, Nick, some of those
Yeah.
are incorporated in some of our applications, right?
Yes, it's been the policy of the planning board when the development applications come in to request of the developers to include electric vehicle charging stations within the parking areas of their projects, whether it be a parking garage or surface level parking.
good, okay, great.
And then some of our zones require spaces for, the car sharing services, familiar name is Zipcar. The trend for that has kind of decreased, so we've also replaced those designated spots with electrical vehicle charging spots as well.
Great, good. Okay, thank you. And then I just have one, last question. Again, I'm putting you on the firing seat for this. This was, had to do with, the website, update and, people being able to submit service requests. And, not for a specific answer, but could we at some point put on the agenda, a report from, Will and Alex on how our new website is functioning and all that? It just prompted that thought for me. If we could have an update, I would think that would be helpful. Good, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Property tax. We have two resolutions.
Right, you have a resolution in your packet, They just wanted to see whether or not, it's in support of the November ballot, which would allow for, veterans and widows of spouses who reside in continuing care to be eligible for property tax reductions. So the question is whether you want to put a resolution on supporting that. Now, we would have to do it tonight. Do you have it drafted for
It's
tonight?
on, it's on.
It's on.
It's on already. I think it's on already.
So if you don't want to, call it.
If you don't want, we can pull it. It is a valid question. We should.
I'm okay with it.
Yes.
Is there any reason why we wouldn't support something like that?
I can't imagine.
Yeah, I can't either.
Are all the towns supporting it? You know, or-
I've received a few resolutions from
Yeah,
municipalities.
I don't recall seeing a lot of them. The ones that I've seen have supported it. I haven't seen anybody suddenly opposed to it. I think the League of Municipalities supported it.
That's it? No more questions?
Any questions?
Okay. Review of the regular meeting.
I'm good.
I'm good, I'm good.
Motion to close.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
So, need a motion to go into executive session for the following items: personnel matter and attorney-client privilege.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Viera,
Yes.
Dr. Vogt,
Yes.
Mrs. Wittes,
Yes.
Dr. Selly,
Yeah.
Mr. Dangler.
Yes.
You want us to?
What are we hitting first here? Good.
The board report.